Hi, my name is Ouita Michel, and I am at the moment. I've always loved cooking, and honestly, I moved to New York City in 1987. I hate to date myself, but I got my first job in a restaurant here in Manhattan on 22nd and 2nd, a little place called the Health Pub. I don't know if it's still there or not, but I just fell in love with restaurant culture here in New York City. And then I worked here in the city in multiple different places, and then I went to the Culinary Institute of America in Hyde Park, New York, and I met my husband on the first day of chef school. And he was the kind of New Yorker that, never saw west of the Hudson River. His family been here for generations, never knew there was a state called Kentucky. But we moved back to Kentucky, and really there I was able to explore cooking and the ability to own my own business, see it grow, and develop deep relationships with local farmers, which is really important to how I see food. I had a dream of being able to produce a small show about Kentucky foodways, and I needed some advice. And so I called Steve up and asked he and his wife Robin to lunch at our restaurant, the Holly Hill Inn. They came, and Robin is super straightforward, and she's like, "Do you want this show to be seen outside of Kentucky?" Because at that time we had a different sizzle reel. She goes, "Because this effing sucks. It's not going to be seen anywhere. It's terrible." And so I was like, okay. And that sort of led me, I screwed up enough courage. I knew Steve had started Macaroni Art with Rick, that had just started. And so I screwed up enough courage to call him and say, "Would you consider doing this small project?" Well, one of the things I have tried to watch as much food television as possible in preparation for this. But I think the most interesting thing isn't really the personal story of the host. Like, I know I want to share parts of my life. I want to share myself with the viewer. But what's fascinating to me is the stories of all the people that are in that world. And when you shrink the world down to one person, it can become kind of boring. And before long, you're talking about snacks for the baseball league, and you're not really thinking about food in a broader construct. So that was one thing. I knew I wanted to tell the stories of multiple people. I know I have a rich group of friends, all of living and working in the same kind of environment that I am in Kentucky, and I really wanted to tell their story. So I had this feeling of, if I waited much longer, at the moment I'm in my third act, as Jane Fonda would say. So I'm 60 years old. I don't have a lot of time left in my career. And so I had a burning desire to tell my own story and tell the story of the people that I know and love and work with in Kentucky. I feel like we're industrializing a lot of the food that we eat. And one of the things I love about New York City, actually, is how many mom and pop restaurants there are in this town. It's beyond beautiful. But in my community, a lot of the new restaurants that open up are fast food restaurants and restaurant chains. So that's one of the things I really worry that in this country we're losing, the bootstrap, small mom and pop shop. That's how I started with my husband, and I want that to be true for young chefs across the country. I would decree world peace. I would put an end to hunger, and I would solve the climate crisis. And I might take all cell phones and ban cell phones. I might crash the cell phone industry. No more cell phones. Go back to the dial phone. Oh my God, 3 people? Well, I think I would pick my mom. She's passed away, but she was a fighter. She was super passionate. She was my biggest cheerleader, and she never accepted no for an answer. So I know she'd inspire me to fight like nobody's business. I think I might pick Alexander Hamilton because I just saw the reunion on the Tony Awards, and I was like, I know every word to the musical, and I find him a hugely inspiring historical figure. And then third, I might pick Julia Child. 1, we share the same birthday. 2, she was long on charm, so anything that Alexander and my mother couldn't handle, Julia could, but just setting a gorgeous table and inviting everybody down to dinner. The zombies would not stand a chance.